What's going on, everyone? My name's Lewis. I'm the founder of Dirty Soulful Outdoors. I'm here with Steve, and right now we're gonna do this video outside, but it is pouring rain. We're hunting Big Cypress tomorrow, opening day, August 30th, 2025. And you know, archery season is opening. This is gonna be Steve's first hunt.
First time out there.
Yep. Yeah. What are you feeling? What do you got?
I don't know, man. Honestly, like, I feel pretty anxious. Like, there's very few things that you do that involves so much preparation.
Yep.
You know, and we've been out there. You've been out there more than me, but I've been out there like 3 or 4 times. You know, setting up cameras, looking for trees. You know, it goes so much into it, and now like it's all it's all culminated.
Yep.
To tomorrow.
Yep.
You know, so I'm a little anxious, dude. I'm excited, you know.
No, it's just gonna get that much more like multiplied when you see an animal come out.
No,
you know,
sure.
It doesn't matter if it's a doe, a buck, a hog, a squirrel. Your heart's gonna race.
You know, you see so many videos and like where people get so emotional when they actually can kill an animal.
Yep.
And I kind of never understood it, but now, just having gone through the process so far, I get it, man.
Yeah.
I get it. Like, you know, if I see something tomorrow, if I see an animal tomorrow, I know I'm gonna get super excited. I don't know. That buck fever, that has me terrified. Dude.
Yeah.
That has me terrified.
And it's a real thing.
I didn't know that.
I remember when I killed my first deer. It was a doe, and my heart was racing. And it's something that you're gonna go out tomorrow, and you might see a doe, you might see something, and when you shoot your bow at an animal, that is probably the most, like, it's an experience that it's hard to explain to anybody that hasn't hunted or hasn't been in that situation.
Sure. It's one of those things that you have to do it. You have to go through it yourself. You know, it's something primal. It's ingrained in our DNA to be able to hunt. You know, I spearfish a lot, and you know, even when I kill a fish, it's exciting. You know, you get this rush. You know, and that's just a fish. You know, but I can only imagine that killing something like a deer or a hog is just multiplied many folds over. You know?
And we've been, how many miles do you think we've trekked in the Big Cypress?
Bro, we got, if we add up all the miles, it has to be at least 30 miles, dude.
It's,
you know, at least.
And I've done way more.
No, yeah, you've done
a
lot more than I have.
So when you finally do get that buck, and everybody that has hunted Big Cypress, or if you haven't, it's a frustrating place, to say the very least. You know, like these animals are going from basically swimming to dry land, and it could be super dry, and then like right now, the next couple of days of opening season, it is pouring rain. So who knows how the water levels are going to rise.
That affects them,
you know. And
I mean, I keep hearing about how hard it is to hunt down here in Florida, and how Floridians usually go somewhere else to hunt.
Yep.
But you know what? I really don't have that point of comparison.
Yeah. No, I know.
I've never been anywhere else. I've never hunted, anywhere else before.
Yep.
You know, so for me, it was either hunting in the ocean, in the water, and now to hunting here.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, I love being out there. It's it's hot, the mosquitoes, you know, but you go out there, you walk 5, 8, 10 miles, and you feel like you accomplished something.
Yeah.
Like you did something that was difficult.
No, yeah,
you know?
You walk all those miles and you find one track and you're like,
bro,
wow.
You get excited. You get excited.
I did it.
Well, I literally, like, when we walk out there, you see, I'm like, oh my God, look, what's that? What's this? Oh, look, it's shit.
Yep.
Oh, you know, you get excited for a turd. You know, but that's how it is now.
Yep, you do.
You know, that's how it feels.
And then all the extra stuff too, like you're walking through and you're like, this could be like a bear den, you know. And then we put cameras out, and sure enough, the bears are running in and out of there.
Bear running in and out of there. You know, yeah.
And then all the panthers, all the snakes.
You know, and everything, and the camera, like, bro, I sit there. When I get a notification from him, I'm like, bro, that's got to be something.
Yep.
That's got to be a deer. That's got to be, you know. And sure enough, a line of hogs.
Yep.
I was like, you know, and I want to share. I want to show my wife. Like, hey, look. She's like, she doesn't understand.
And then if you're from Miami and you're watching this video, this is only an hour away, you know, and I think that's for some, like, I didn't grow up hunting. So for me, when I first came out here, I was like, dude, there's that much life out here. We're an hour away from home, and there's bears, panthers, deer, like you name it. Like
you drive across I-75 to go to the West Coast all the time, you know, and you don't. I never imagined, you know, like the first time that we went out and you pulled off in that little thing, I'm like, here?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, here.
Yep.
And then we walked in there, you know, all right, and it was amazing. It was amazing. But you have no idea what you're driving by when you're doing that drive on 75. No idea.
Yeah, so tomorrow's opening day. Like I said, it's going to be pouring all weekend. Actually, tomorrow morning it's going to be clear from up to 11, they say, and then it's going to rain in the afternoon, and then it stops around 5.
That's nothing new for us, though, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
What do we not do in the rain anymore?
Nothing.
So you know,
hopefully the deer start walking.
Just another obstacle.
After the rain. And, yeah, we go from there. But and if you see somebody and they're able to kill a South Florida buck, like, it doesn't matter who you are, like, that is a big deal. You know, even if you just got lucky, you know, you take that, and it's amazing,
you know,
because these Florida deer, or South Florida deer, they're smart, very tricky. Yep.
They're smart, and they're unpredictable.
Yep. Even like, oh, look, we put cameras out. I put cameras out beginning of July. You know, I had a spot that I knew was good, and I had a lot of deer from last year show up, and the rut happened beginning of August, and after that they all disappeared. You know, it's kind of a dry season. They get into those thick tree lines and stuff. But now at the end of August, it's like you don't even know what they're doing anymore. And I think that's kind of
you were getting hits consistently.
Yep.
You know, after we put those cameras, and then all of a sudden it just dried out.
Yeah. I think that's a management issue that has to be addressed. You know, if you guys see the same kind of thing, leave it in the comments, and maybe we could, you know, try to write a letter or something to see if they could reevaluate the studies out here. But
I agree. You know,
it's hard,
and that's another aspect that you start turning into once you start looking into hunting and coming into hunting is actually the management and conservation. You know, which now is a big deal, because if you want to hunt, you got to help conserve that land.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you got to help manage those animals.
Yep.
You know, so it's just like a natural progression, you know, that leads you to somewhere where you didn't think you were going to end up.
Oh yeah.
But then there you are. You know, next thing you know, you're holding signs. You know. So,
yeah, he just bought a bow. He ended up getting, what'd you get him?
I got a Matthews Lift X.
Yep.
You know, from Blessed Archery. Shout out to Blessed and to Ray.
Yep.
Amazing place. You know, they're super knowledgeable, and you know, they just treat you right. So I'm glad I went to Ray. I'm glad I went to Ray to get my bow. You know, obviously my first bow. You know, and he hooked it up right.
Yeah.
He hooked it up right.
It's funny because I remember when when we were talking one day, and you're like, man, I really want to get into traditional bow hunting.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to recurve.
Yeah, you're just looking at videos, and I was like, bro, just get a compound bow, and we could go hunting. And
you know,
here we are, almost a year.
That was the first thing that piqued my interest, was a recurve bow. You know, just because of the like difficulty that entails in hunting and shooting. Really, I didn't think I was really thinking about hunting. I was just trying to learn how to shoot the.
It's like what you said earlier. You're just trying to tap into that.
Yeah, you know, that
primal instinct.
That primal instinct that you have, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, but yeah, and then as I thought, you know, more and I looked more, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get a compound.
Yeah.
You know, baby steps. Let's take this step first, and then, you know, the recurve is still there. It's on the list, you know, but. Let's get the compound bow down first.
Yep, and it's funny because you would think the recurve bow is easier. That is.
You know, I honestly had no idea how hard it was until I started looking into it, and you know, there's a lot of comparison between the recurve and the compound bow, and you know, everybody talks about how much more difficult it is to shoot the recurve, you know, and hunt. Forget about it.
Yeah. So,
you know, needless to say.
Yeah. So earlier we were testing out the climber, you know. How do you feel about being up there in the tree? And
I mean,
It's just so much stuff getting thrown at you.
I climbed trees as a kid so much, you know, but this is so different.
Yeah.
Right. This is so different because you're climbing, you know, not just to climb, but you're climbing with a purpose and an intent.
Yep.
You know, and you have to think about everything. You know, well, what if I set up facing this way and the deer comes this way?
Yep.
You know,
and the winds and
the winds. You know, there's so much that goes into just picking which way you're gonna face your climber.
Yep.
So
and then you know, so that's another struggle that we deal with here in South Florida, and it's actually one of the things that I wanted to talk about because where we're hunting, there's not a lot of nice trees to climb with a climber. So you know, I was looking into saddle hunting and I was looking into the one sticking, the multiple sticks, and I stumbled across this technique that's called the half line system. New York saddle hunter, he kind of has it break down for you very easily, but I'm going to talk a little bit about it. So basically what you're doing is you're setting up a paracord around the bark of a tree, and then the day of your hunt you bring up the rope, you make a girth hitch around the actual tree, and then you're climbing the rope. So I like this because, you know, it doesn't matter the size of the tree. You know, as long as you have a very solid tree, you know, you don't have to worry about the thickness.
Branch, you know,
as long as it's a good tree, you're able to climb it because you're climbing the rope. Which with my background, I'm a fireman, and you know, I've been doing rope rescues and stuff. I've taken multiple classes, and this is a technique that I see. You know, it might be somewhat intimidating to some people.
Yeah.
But it is fairly simple, and if you guys want, you know, either look it up or I could make another video on my setup. But altogether, I think it weighs like maybe 10 pounds. Like, it's very light.
That's your setup compared to the climber. There's no comparison.
Yep.
You know, there's no comparison. Luckily, you know, where we have set up, my walk into the tree isn't going to be as long as your walk. But if I had to do that walk with that tree climber,
and especially
I would be spent by the time I got there.
And my walk is very in a very tight area. So with that climber, on top of the weight, it's super clumsy. Bulky. You know, you're walking through all these trees, and you know, my thing doesn't take up any space. So everything's compact on me.
Yeah, no, I think definitely next year, you know, hopefully everything goes well this year, you know, and going well doesn't necessarily mean that I have to kill an animal. Yeah. But, you know, just the experience is, you know, something that I'm going to want to do again. I'll probably go to some type of, you know, for sure, saddle hunting. Yep. Because that setup is awesome. Yeah. It's super nice.
And for those of you that never hunted and I don't know, stumbled across this video, like, it's not just going out there and killing an animal. Like we said, we deal with tons of different situations, obstacles, and it's very hard, and you almost get lucky trying to see an animal. So
killing the animal is like the last thing that happens.
Yep.
You know, it's the last thing. There's so many things that happen beforehand that people, you know, most people, unless you actually hunted, they don't understand. You know, they just see the killing of the animal and the picture with the dead deer, you know. But all the work that went into getting there. Yep. It's you know.
All the time, all the money that you spend.
The time, the money. Let's not even bring that up.
Yeah.
You know.
Not that much money for all the wives out there watching.
Yeah. You know, they don't know the whole story at home.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, but there's just so much. There's so much that goes into that. You know, again, that's why that culmination of killing that animal, it becomes so emotional.
Yep.
You know, it becomes so emotional, you know, because you've given so much of yourself. Forget about the money. Forget about that. The time, the sweat, you know, the grueling walks through the brush, you know, the heat, the mosquito bites, all that stuff that you went through, you know, finally paid off. Which is awesome. And, you know, hopefully next year you'll be able to go to Missouri. Another shout out to RMA Outfitters. Yeah, definitely. I know we're gonna try to book a trip out there, and definitely. You know, you're gonna realize all the work you put here is still gonna feel nice over there, but
the experience is completely different. You know, the amount of deer, the size, and just they still got the mosquitoes, they still got the heat, but just, you know, it's just a completely different environment.
Different experience, yeah.
Like everything is almost peaceful.
That's something that Ray did say. You know, that's why, I mean, Ray's super experienced, but he was out there with us.
Yeah. No.
And he didn't even have a tag or anything. He was just out there for the experience, you know. So, you know, and he says he loves that stuff. He loves it.
That just shows you, like, even though that Florida buck is such a hard commodity to get, like, there's something just probably so rewarding that even an experienced hunter like Ray in RMA Outfitters, that he has a great outfit in Missouri, he still comes and he, you know, it's like, it's something that you just like.
He wants to go through the experience of it. He doesn't want to forget it.
Yep.
You know, that's the impression I get.
It definitely humbles you. You know,
he doesn't want to forget it.
Yep.
You know,
and
he said it. He said it. He's like, this is so much easier in Missouri.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and that's something like, if you would have started in Missouri and you come here, you're like, nah, we gotta walk how much today to you know, try to find a track.
I'm kind of glad that my experience has been steered this way, you know. And again, thanks to Lewis, you know. I mean, like I said, I just happened to be working together one day, and I started talking about the recurve because I knew he hunted, and then from there, you know what, it just flourished, you know. And then here we are, you know. First day of looking towards the first day of the hunt. You know, which is crazy. But that's, you know.
Yeah, and it's gonna be cool, you know, to see. We'll try to do it again tomorrow or at the end of the hunt. Yeah. To get your experience and to see what you think and go from there.
I'm down. You know.
But
I'm down to do it.
Yeah. So yeah, let's see how tomorrow goes. I'm gonna try to document. Like I said, it's going to be raining, so I don't know how much we're going to be able to document.
Yeah, that's going to make it tough to record. But, you know, like I thought about, well, am I going to bring my camera? But you know what? Like, I want this to be, like, a personal experience for me. You know, for me. This is my thing, you know. I don't need everybody to know what I did. I don't need everybody to see, you know. I'm doing it for me. I want to do it for me, you know. And if I'm going to share, I'm going to share with those closest to me, you know, the people that help me out, you know, Ray, you know, Martin, you know, those guys that kind of felt the same grueling experience leading up here, you know. So,
and that's what we're all about, you know. I'm just trying to grow this community here in South Florida, talk about, you know, different ways that we hunt, different ideas, different experiences to grow the community, you know, grow some.
Yeah, definitely, you know. I mean, everything's about community. Luckily, you know, we both have our firefighter community, you know, which is a very close-knit community, you know. But from there, you know, trying to build other communities here out there for people who are looking, people like me, you know, people like me who are looking to go through this experience but really don't have the direction of where to go, of how to do it, you know.
Oh yeah, if you would have gone here by yourself, you would have been like, no, I'm out.
No, yeah.
You would have walked 5 feet in the Everglades and been like,
100%.
I don't even know what I'm doing here. I have no, you know, knowledge about anything here.
I would have walked over that berm and got into that bush that we did that day. And I would have turned around and I would have walked back out. You know, got in my truck and gone home.
And said, this is it for me.
Yeah. I would have been done. You know. So it's something to share. You know, it's something to share, you know. And you shared your knowledge with me, and hopefully I become knowledgeable enough one day to be able to share my knowledge with somebody else that's interested, you know, and try to lead them and guide them, you know. Like next year, if we do this again, you know, I'm looking forward to you know, me help. Like I want to tell you, like, oh, hey, I think we should do this and do that, you know, because that's the only way you're gonna grow into something.
And at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't matter how many times I've been out here, I could always grow. He could grow. And together we're gonna be unstoppable. But that's what it's all about, I feel. You know, so if you guys are like what we're saying, please like and subscribe and share with your friends, because, you know, this is what it's all about. You know, just trying to grow together as a community. So, if you got anything else to say?
No, man. We'll let you know what happens. You know, we'll keep you guys up to date.
All right, guys. Be safe out there. Stay hydrated. Stay dirty.